Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Busted Knees and Pretty Trees podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I am Travis White, and we've made it back to the studio to bring you another episode. Honestly, I'm surprised we have a full head count in the studio today, because after talking to our friend Chad about birds and the art of birding on last week's episode, I knew the guys and I have had our eyes to the sky while recklessly driving around Northeast Indiana on ice-glazed roads, trying to spot anything that might have feathers. We are adding quite a few check marks to our birding life list, though, our comprehensive one with all of us. And most of those checks seem to be coming from our new volunteer studio photographer. He's been whipping out his new long lens in local public parks and on the shoulder of the road, getting great shots of our local birds all week long. Bradley Greer, everyone.
Yeah, I've been having a blast.
Yeah, dude. Every day you've been going somewhere and using that new camera and just taking like really good pictures.
Travi J asked a pretty important question earlier this afternoon, and it was, "Do you even work?" And I just love your passion and your enthusiasm for birding. I swear to God, y'all, about 25 days ago, Brad couldn't tell me what a pelican was because we were talking about a bird in South Carolina. And this guy is probably anywhere between the 10th to 20th most knowledgeable bird person that I know.
Dude, yeah, like exponential bird knowledge.
Growth.
One thing that does make me feel kind of like a fraud, and I want to ask Chad what he thinks about this, is doing photography. I can see a cool bird, and I don't like really, I mean, I'll still shoot 1,000 shots, but my main objective is to get a cool shot, you know? Like I see a cool looking bird, I want to get a shot.
The more you take,
but I don't necessarily know what that,
you.
Like I don't necessarily know what that bird is. So after the fact, I'm looking up and then saying, oh, that's a white-throated sparrow.
Right.
And so, but if you don't have a picture, you have to ID that bird through your bins on the fly or remember what it looked like. So I feel like I'm kind of cheating the system by getting a good picture and then after the fact figuring out what bird it is.
You're still kind of looking through binoculars, and I don't know, is that a rule? Like you have to identify it on the spot?
I don't know. That's kind of what I want to ask Chad about.
That's a great question, man.
Because I feel like I'm cheating the system.
Wow.
Like I got 3 new ducks today on my life list.
You're kind of cheating the system with binoculars, though, too.
Well, yeah, but
how far back do you want to take?
But you don't have to rely on after the fact figuring out what bird it is.
There's an argument to be made. How much technology?
I think I go hard enough that I get some slack because I'll hear a bird call and I'll find that bird.
All right. Did you guys hear that? Sounds like a boar escaped and went feral. Kind of sounds like some sloppy wet socks. Maybe it's one of the dogs giving their nethers a good bath. Oh, no. That's just our other pod brother chomping down onto an Italian meat sandwich.
Ooh.
Patty Richardson is here.
That was awesome. I envisioned that, and I also thought about the sounds I was making when I was eating that mushroom roll. I had a mushroom roll, and it had to have been disgusting.
That was so funny, that moment, because Brad and I both went silent, and we can just, the only sound in the room was you just eating the hell out of that thing.
Man, there was no holding back, dude. That was Friday night at 11, and I'm eating, baby. Get out my way. Get out my way.
Alrighty, and we also have one more guest with us today to help us out with this episode. He's part of the Busted Knees mythos. You may remember him being mentioned on an earlier podcast in Patty's terrifying tale about getting lost with a friend on the trail.
Yeah, brother.
And nearly losing.
It was a harrowing tale.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see he didn't get lost on his way here. Ty Vanmeter.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I got one question for you.
Yes, please.
If it came down to it, which part of Patrick's body would you have picked up first on that trail?
Oh, man. Probably drag the feet. I think. Yeah.
Man, I was out, dude. That was such a crazy experience, dude.
It was just you two out there?
And
and
a
our
friend
buddy
of
Nick.
ours,
You did have another one?
Jackson.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick Jackson.
Yeah, shout out. And dude, we got down there. It was that farting park ranger. I told you. She gave us
bad.
terrible directions and understanding. I mean, I don't think we even started on the right trail. Terrible.
No.
It was crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But between dehydration and copperhead snakes and sitting butt naked in the Chattahoochee River, dude, that was an experience.
It was beautiful. It was cleansing.
Yeah, it was cleansing,
Yeah.
man. I tell that story with the most
Getting in the river?
vigil in my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it wasn't getting in that river, man. We were about
The river got in
we were
us.
supposed to be out there. We were supposed to be out there eight miles. We ended up doing 22 miles on July
Yeah.
14th. I think it was just over 100 degrees outside.
Yep.
And when we found that river, we were on
my
like
God.
mile 15 or 16 in a day. And we jumped in that baby naked.
I mean, I would.
Yeah,
too.
might as
Oh,
well.
man, it felt, my body seized up. I was so dehydrated. I couldn't handle it. It was crazy.
On a 100-degree day?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and cold river.
It's not-
Anyway, happy to have you here, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
Super psyched.
Remember, everybody, keep trash bags in your pack. They take up almost no space, and they're very useful.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Nice.
We got a tip right off the bat for my guest.
Oh,
There's the News Panther.
All
Hell
right.
yeah. Here we go.
All right, well, tonight for the News Panther, we're going to switch it up a little bit because we're also playing trivia tonight.
Yeah.
And I am the trivia master. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have Travis and Patty each bring their own News Panther stories in.
Yes.
And
Yep.
we're going to start with Patty. Let's
And
see how you do.
It's nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking.
I'll be grading you as you go.
That
Like I
new-
was saying earlier, we have a high bar.
Yeah, that News Panther is a
Yeah.
real animal.
So why don't you kick it off, Patrick?
All right, dude. So my news story is from Big Bend National Park. There was a brand new species of plant that has been discovered.
What state is that?
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, it is a huge national park at just over 800,000 acres.
Wow.
So massive area, really gorgeous, tons of wild flora and all the fauna.
Could you say which part of, like,
no, I can't
visualize
right now.
it?
No, because I'm not the News Panther.
That's a really big
on,
state.
Come
It's a
on,
huge
man.
state, Patrick.
Oh man. No, but the plant's scientific name is Ovicula bireatiata, or the woolly devil.
Nice.
There's the photo up there, gentlemen, so you can see that, and I'll
Beautiful.
post it on our Blue Sky. But the woolly devil is a very, very small plant at about 1.5 inches to an estimated max of 3 inches. So very small.
Is that diameter or height?
They don't know the height yet.
Oh.
So they don't know what the max of the height is because of when it was found and potential growth patterns.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so quite interesting. The plant, while I say that it was recently discovered, it was actually discovered in March of 2024. It's just once they took the photos and sent those off, and they sent it off to all kinds of botanists and scientists and biologists everywhere all over the world, and it took them that year to be able to name it, come up with the species that it is, and things along those lines. And I think it took about 8 months before they actually found out that it couldn't be even identified.
So is it kind of like some people took a picture of a flower and were wondering what that flower was?
Yeah,
and
so
nobody had an answer?
It was 2 ladies, park volunteer Deb Manley, and a park interpretive operations supervisor Kathy Hoyt, that were out on a hike in the park and came across this plant and kind of did not recognize it, had no idea, they'd never seen it before. And so they took photos that day, and that's kind of when the hunt started for the next 8 months or so. So they sent that off to everybody they knew, scientists, botanists, biologists, everyone. And they also put it in an online forum. So asking the public to help identify, all in attempts to identify the plant. Because if they couldn't identify it, then they knew that they had a new species, right?
Would they go out looking for it? Or were they just sending pictures around?
They were just out hiking, and they are good enough at what they do that when they were walking, they have never seen this plant before.
Yeah.
So they just took those photos and sent them out.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm asking if they did some more investigation and tried to go back and
Like tried to find more.
Oh,
find more of them.
So, yes.
I gotta say, just looking at the picture of this thing, it's like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It looks like an alien, legitimately.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
We'll post a picture of it on our Blue Sky so
Yeah.
you guys can go find it.
Going forward, what I think is really cool is what a gentleman named Isaac Mark, who is a research fellow at the California Academy of Science. Isaac Mark says it was very clear at first that it was a member of the sunflower family. But this new plant also did not cleanly fit within any recognized genus. And a genus is the rank classification just above species. So you have to start at the very bottom to understand what these species are, what these plants are, what these animals are. So they understood the species, but then right above that is the genus, and they could not figure that out.
Seems backwards.
Yes. So Isaac Mark goes on to say, and what this means is that this plant or this discovery was not only a new plant species of sunflower, but it was also a completely new genus of plant.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy for these
Man.
two women to be walking down a path and see this.
That's the stuff dreams are made of.
Right? I
You
know.
could come up with your own, like find something and it creates a whole new genus of
Yeah. How
Fauna.
crazy.
Your name's got to be in the.
Oh, yeah.
in
Right,
What do
like
they
the
call
Latin
it?
name. Yeah.
Yeah. And also that the fact that that was a sunflower, and we'll post the photo, but that does not look like a sunflower at all.
No.
The reason they call it a sunflower is because it's a bunch of flowers that kind of combined and lots of leaves around it. And that was how they knew immediately that this was a sunflower.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it kind of looks like it's growing out of rocks.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell though.
So all these scientists and botanists, now that we've made it that year and they've gotten the name, they understand the species and that it's not a genus. Now all these scientists and people are super excited about it because now the real research starts because now you understand it's there. So now you can understand all the things about the plant. So what they want to learn, some things like growth patterns throughout the year. They're trying to learn seasonal changes, like does the plant change colors? Do flowers pop out? Do whatever a plant goes
Yeah,
through?
like does it even have a flower?
Does it even have a flower?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good point.
What is the root system like? Because they've never found a dead one, I don't think, and they're not pulling one out of the ground. And then the one I thought was pretty cool was what are its pollinators and how does it propagate?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. They don't know what's
They want to know
Right.
everything about it.
I know. So
Yeah.
I think that's really neat that now the science starts, and I thought the science was like over.
Yeah.
You whatever.
Oh, we found it.
And that
Write it
being out, but judging by the picture, it looks like very dry, very like desert conditions. So
Yeah, like
the pollinator would be really interesting to find out what's
Right.
going on
I
there.
know. And how does it propagate?
Yeah.
Like in terms of spreading.
Yeah.
So
Very
I
interesting.
bring up spreading because the last point I'll make about this is the scientists now are starting to say and ask the question, because this plant was found on a very narrow and short stretch of land within the national park and not been seen before, they're starting to ask the question of whether or not this plant is just now starting to. So this is the branch out of the species of this plant for the first time in history, or if it's on the back end, if it's leading to extinction and we're just seeing it for the first time before it eviscerates from all known history.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a pretty neat question that they're asking.
Well, I get the woolly part, but why is it the woolly devil?
because apparently the leaves on it aren't soft, like they're spiny.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
It looks soft.
Right.
So somebody touched it.
But I've seen.
'Cause that's the first thing I'd want to do. Like,
Oh yeah, and I've
It looks like
seen
a suck-
plants
it looks like a
this.
succulent.
It looks like
It
a
does.
succulent.
It
yeah.
does.
So I think it's
Yeah.
interesting about the sunflower thing.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, thank you, dude. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yep.
very exciting when they find new stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
dude.
probably very, very
beautiful.
exciting for them.
Hey, you know what? We should give Park Volunteer Deb Manley and Park Interpretive Operations Supervisor Kathy Hoyt a Hell Yeah award. What do you guys think?
Hell yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
have to decide, should I commission that award or not?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
commissioning
I
it.
think a new species. That we
Come
we
on.
set the
Yeah, that's
bar
pretty
with
dope.
the previous episode.
Yeah, the kid scientist.
We make
Unless
it in.
it like really looks the same, kind of like
Yeah.
some other species, like fish. You can hardly tell some of them apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, come
Good
on.
point.
Let's
We're
give-
splitting hairs here.
They get the Hell Yeah award.
Hell yeah.
Round of applause. Nice.
Nice.
Congratulations. Very good work. All right, now on to
was awesome.
Travis.
Yeah, so when I started doing my research for this, I found an article about how the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo helping to grow salamander eggs and repopulate these, I think they're called hellbender salamanders that are around the Midwest.
I think we're technically the Midwest. You know, it's hard to say because Kansas City also considers themselves
Yeah,
Midwest, and they're
it's like
so far west.
It's a huge swath of land
Yeah.
that considers himself Midwest for sure. But then when I went to work today, I completely trashed that story. Maybe we can post it
Oh.
anyway because he brought me. We had talked about the birding episode that we did last week,
Yeah.
and that was such an awesome episode. And Chad knew so much about birds, and it was really inspiring. And so I told my boss about it, and he was like, "You know what? I just so happen to have this thing that I'd like to get it to somebody that actually would really read through it and care about it." And I was like, "I know a guy."
Yeah.
And so he gave it to me, and I
And
started.
you were like, I'm that guy?
"No, I want to get it to Chad. I think
Oh,
he would
yeah.
find it very interesting."
Oh, yeah.
But let me tell you why he might find it interesting. It's about this birder, basically, that lived in Jay County in Indiana in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Like that's when he kind of made his.
Wait, so is this
fame.
his box of stuff? or
This is
it's-
his box of stuff.
Okay.
What?
With his
Whoa.
correspondence and like letters from the Audubon Society in Indiana and nationally. And there's like letters written from Harvard and stuff.
Is this potentially the first time in history somebody outside of this person is reading this live on air?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, live on air for sure. 'Cause
Damn.
my boss has had it. He said for
Technically not
wild.
live.
a long time.
Touche.
But a lot of this stuff
Kind of
is
metaphoricals.
over 100 years old.
Wow.
That's so cool, man.
I'm blown away.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
So this guy, Hal H. Goffel, he was nicknamed the Birdman of Pennville,
Oh, wow.
was a well-known
Sounds like a cryptid.
ornithologist and bird lecturer throughout the state of Indiana in the 1920s, as well as a successful Pennville businessman. But he was born in 1875. So, yeah.
Just post Civil War.
But he graduated from Valparaiso. After graduating, he began working at his uncle's bank for a little while. And then he's had like a lot of tragedy in his life. His mother died at a young age, and his brother was killed in the war.
I feel like back then that happened quite
Subpart.
often. Yeah.
In the Civil War or World War
The
One?
Spanish-American War.
Oh wow, deep cut war.
Dang.
Anyway, he grew up in Jay County, and from his house called Birdview in Pennville,
Oh man, his house had a name?
yeah,
Fuck.
he methodically and scientifically observed, collected, and documented bird activities throughout Jay County, including compiling a bird watching journal written mostly from 1918 through 1928.
Mother. motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wow. And those were not easy years to be doing anything. I don't think.
He probably had it pretty good, you know. He's sitting around watching birds.
He was the county's bird man.
Because that was going into like the swinging 20s when bird feathers were. So he might have hit like the prime right before they started killing all the
When
birds.
did the passenger
Oh no,
pigeon leave?
they killed them back then. They would kill them
Yeah.
back then and collect them that way.
Just trying to get those feathers, right?
Well, no, like there would be people that would shoot these birds and then
Study it.
give them to the Audubon Society or something and study them. Yeah.
Here, look, I shot the last ivory-billed woodpecker.
Or the last passenger pigeon.
Yeah, so he's that's what he's known for, at least in the Audubon Society in Indiana, and he's got a lot of records and he's got a lot of correspondence from all this stuff, and there's a whole binder full of it.
What's cool is it's not a binder; it's like a wood.
Oh
case.
yeah, it's got a cool latch.
Like-
it's really weird.
Yeah,
It's got to be almost
it's
100 years
literally
old.
like a
or
I
wood-
feel
maybe
like
not that
this
old,
is.
but-
I feel like we're underscoring or underplaying
Yeah.
just how cool these documents are
Yeah.
that you have in front of
Yeah,
us.
that I'm just flopping around in front of my face
You're
right
like,
now.
Yeah.
"Man, you did this and you did that," and it's like that is awesome.
Look how yellow the paper is.
and like imagine
Yeah.
having a little wooden box to put all your notes in.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
that's
afraid
cool
it
as
was
hell.
going to
that is cool. As
pop
hell.
open because it was really
What's
windy
his
today.
name?
And if I lost these things in the wind,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
For sure.
Right?
Be a
What's his
tragedy.
name?
Hal Koffel.
How? How
You can look him up as Hal H. Koffel or H. H. Koffel or Hal Koffel. I did some research.
I gotta say, going by the two initials of your first and middle name that's a hardcore move. I
H.H.
like that a
Koffel.
lot.
Yeah.
H.H. Koffel sounds badass.
Yeah, that
really
does
cool.
matter.
Just saying.
Like he chills in a room like this and smokes.
Oh yeah,
And
Makes
just
business
looks
decisions.
at birds.
their stuff
Yeah.
burns all.
Oh, 100%,
Oh,
man.
for sure. Let me get to that here because these letters are. I don't know what to call it, but it's an earlier version of American English.
Wow.
It's very interesting. So I'm going to read a little excerpt here from one of the
right,
letters,
great.
and there's tons of these. Dear Hal, was glad to get your letter stating that the great horned owl is coming nicely. Enclosed, you will find a picture of said animal, which I am sending you. Picture of this male was taken just after it was killed and just before sending it to you. Also wish you had a shotgun to use on those folks who were crabbing about it. Sorry it had to arrive when about half a dozen of them were on hand. Not knowing your company, I would have to send it at a time when its reception would be rather cold. Sorry this time, old man. We'll try and do better next time. Wish I could be over when the warblers are in. However, this has been a rather disappointing warbler season.
Wow.
Great.
Well done on the historical reading, sir.
Well done.
That was very good.
There is not an ounce of me that doesn't want to take that book out of your lap and start looking at it right now.
it's
I will.
really good.
I will have every one
So-
of those journal entries written.
I gotta say, my favorite thing about that letter was how he threw shade on, because he's like, man, if only there had been a shotgun for these MFers who were
Yeah.
talking shit. You know what I mean?
So he was like, "Look at this great horned owl." Blam! Shot it, and like, let me take a picture of it.
Yeah. But here's on the other page. Old man Westcott has died, and it seems that a couple of the sons are not getting on so congenially relative to the collection. The main part of it, however, is housed in the old museum building on the farm of Noble Westcott, about 1.5 miles south of the Jefferson Township School, which is about 5 miles west of Warren.
Wow.
Dude, this guy is a master tea spiller right here, man. He's like, this guy, he died and his kids, they ain't getting along so well. It's a real shame.
We got to make sure this collection gets saved.
Oh my
We can't let
gosh.
them have it.
I love that,
It's
man.
amazing.
That was
But it-
very good.
It also seems that he's very in tune. Like the warblers, they just weren't. Where are they?
Yeah.
They're not around. I hope the warblers are where you're at because they ain't here.
Dude knows what he was doing.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like letters are like prime. That's like prime history, prime anthropology. Like just how people like spoke to each other, and that was their medium of communication. You know, that is a really cool find,
and it
man.
wasn't
I gotta
that
tell
long
you.
ago.
No,
Sweet.
no.
I mean, that's like the only reason we have like know about Lincoln more and like Grant and all those like the people that made America what it is.
Yeah.
We'd have no idea.
100%.
That was sweet. That was sweet. Oh,
There we go.
hey man, we
guys did it.
crushed that,
Dude, good job, guys.
High five.
Dude, 100%. Those were
Yeah.
dope stories,
Yeah.
I got
man.
lucky. That fell into my hands just
Well,
this morning.
I love that. And you actually what was cool about that was like that dude actually had personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it came through in his letters.
Yeah.
Like that is so neat, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
agree.
I think we should each get a turn with that before we give it to Chad.
Oh,
I
100%.
would love that.
100%.
I would like to have Chad on after if he finds interest
yeah.
in that and goes through
he
it.
is
and,
going to find nothing but interest.
Yeah.
We need to wear
Yeah.
white cloth gloves.
Yeah.
When we're,
Yeah,
I
like
do
treat
feel
it real
that.
gently.
That's an antiquity, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
after
100%.
75 years, it becomes an antiquity.
It's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
let's get started with trivia.
Yeah, dude, I'm psyched about this. I've been waiting for this trivia night all fucking week. Like I'm a little nervous because I don't want to look like a jackass, but you know, whatever.
I took work off for this, baby.
Yeah,
I'm,
let's go, dude.
I'm
You
ready,
did.
dude.
You did take off work for this.
All right.
go.
So I hope Brad has his setup well because we brought Ty here tonight, as I mentioned earlier, for a game, and Brad's going to host a trivia night for us, and we needed a third contestant, so we brought Ty in. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys.
And-
Appreciate you.
Brad hasn't told us anything about the questions he's going to ask us, so this is kind of exciting coming from
Yeah.
his brain. So
Like any good trivia game, you can't know the answers before the test.
he hasn't shown us a thing. Brad, you want to take it?
All right, yeah, let's get started. Welcome to Busted Knees and Pretty Trees Trivia. There will be 10 questions, some multiple choice and some not. Each correct answer is worth 1 point. I do have a tiebreaker question in case it comes to that. The questions will revolve around national parks, wildlife, geography, and just generally the outdoors.
Okay.
The person with the most points at the end will get to choose which conservation organization we will donate $25 to.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Woo.
Hell yeah, Brad. Great idea.
Very cool.
All right, any questions about how this is going to work?
Let's do it.
So is it
first
like multiple
one?
choice?
Some are multiple choice,
Short
some
answer?
are not. The ones that are not multiple choice are like definitive. I'll give you some clues, lead you in the direction.
Okay.
Do we all show our answer?
Yeah.
That's-
So I gave everybody whiteboards or dry erase boards. So everybody writes their answers. Once I see everybody has their answers, we'll turn our boards and I'll read everybody's answers off.
Okay.
Let's
And,
go.
And I think
yeah.
everybody's individually going to keep score,
Yep.
and we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
no cheating.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think I got some pretty fun questions for you
And
guys.
eager contestants.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get started.
Let's do it.
What was the first national park in the United States? Was it Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, Redwood National Park, or Yosemite National Park? Do you guys have like a gut feeling? Do you think
No
you know
idea.
which one it
I
is?
feel like I know what it is, but I hope that I'm not wrong.
I will say I was kind of surprised by it, just about who signed it into law
Ooh.
as a national park.
Oh, shit. Now I'm questioning
Oh,
myself.
yeah,
I'm
me
actually
too.
nervous because now I'm afraid my eyes deceived me.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could have.
Yeah.
It was way before I thought it was.
Well, should
say
we
that,
show our answers, though?
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody show their answers. So Ty has Yosemite, Travis has Yellowstone, and we got a nice little picture of some mountains.
Beautiful.
Patty has D, Yosemite National Park. The answer is
No, way to go.
Right, well
dude.
done, Trav.
Yeah.
B,
Hell yeah.
Yellowstone National Park. A bill creating Yellowstone was signed into law by President Ulysses S. Grant.
No way. Based Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah.
He won the Civil War and the first national park.
Now he's
Get
even more
him.
of a hero.
Hell yeah. And he was a bad drinker,
And he
so
can
good
handle
for
his
him.
alcohol. He won the war while drinking.
Hell
so.
yeah.
That's so cool.
And that was in
Wouldn't everybody, if you
1872.
could.
Based on a buzz, man.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting was the second national park was Mackinac National Park in 1875.
Mackinac is beautiful.
But then it was rescinded in 1895.
Yeah, because that's not a national
Right.
park.
There was some kind of weird rule they made where the state of Michigan, I think, didn't want it a national park, or some kind of weird stuff happened. So it became a state park, but they had to agree with the federal government that if they were ever to designate it as something other than a park, it had to revert back to a national park. Like they couldn't sell it off. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
It's kind of crazy.
Super cool.
They're
Yeah.
holding that island hostage.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. And at the NPS National Park Service itself was established in 1916. So that was like 40 years later. Wow. All right,
pretty
question
long.
2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
go.
is the highest mountain in the United States east of the Mississippi?
good.
Oh, Lord.
Is it Mount Katahdin, Mount Washington, Klingman's Dome, or Mount Mitchell?
That Klingman's Dome is the one that's screwing me up.
Yeah.
Because I know that's the highest in the east.
Are you giving us clues?
No,
Oh,
this,
sorry.
No,
Oh, sorry,
no.
yes.
This is east of the Mississippi.
Did you just give us the answer, Patrick?
If you want to trust him,
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing,
I
though.
believe
Do you
this.
trust
I
me?
believe this came up in our
don't. I don't trust
episode with our through hiker John Cable. So if you were paying close attention, I think it was a passing comment.
Son of a gun.
I don't know. Nobody seems
I'm gonna be-
confident.
no, I have no clue.
I've been here once, and the time, like, you can drive up to the top of this. There's a little clue for you.
I
And-
just got it. I feel like now I know.
Shit. Damn it. I shouldn't have done that.
What are you doing, Brad?
I don't know, actually.
I guess-
dude. I'm
Yeah.
second
A
guessing.
clue's a clue.
When's the clock start?
Actually, I know that you can drive up to a couple of these. So, well, close to the top. But when we got up to the top, it was my friend Sarah I was with, and it was all fogged in. You couldn't see a damn thing anywhere. Like you're just on an overlook.
This is.
I know
this is
exactly
a-
what you mean.
All right, does everybody have an answer?
There's no way this
Yep.
question should be so difficult for me.
I know it. Yeah, it feels like something you should know, but it's also deceiving.
I'm just having a hard time making a decision because
I'm
definitely
ready.
don't.
I'm ready with
All
my
right.
absolutely
Everybody
random
flip their
guess.
board.
Here we go.
Ty with Mount Mitchell, Travis with Katahdin, Patty with Mount Mitchell. The answer is D, Mount Mitchell.
It was a shot in the
Nice.
dark, man. Well done.
Nice. Total shot in the
So
dark.
Patty and Ty got that one right.
Tighter
Yes.
All right.
yes.
Hell yeah.
It's
Mount
ones
Mitchell.
across the board.
I'm glad I'm not going to get
Oh, yeah.
skunked at least, you know.
One's across
Makes
the
me
board.
feel good.
All right, let's rock.
Mount Mitchell is a part of a group of mountains known as the Southern Sixers, which refers to a group of mountains in the southern states of North Carolina and Tennessee with elevations of at least 6,000 feet. The top 3 highest mountains are Mount Mitchell at 6,684 feet, Mount Craig at 6,647, and Klingman's Dome at 6,643.
Yeah, Clement,
dang.
that was the one that was throwing me off.
So it's only like 41 feet shorter.
Yeah.
That's
You had
pretty
to put
wild.
another mountain in the same mountain
Yeah.
range in there, didn't you?
Well, they're pretty much all in the Appalachian
You son
Mountains.
of a gun.
But if you ever go to
dog.
Gatlinburg, Klingman's Dome is like
Yep.
right outside of Gatlinburg.
That's right.
And there's like a big
Overlook.
like a platform on the top.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Mount Washington clocks in at number 11 with 6,288 feet, but Mount Washington has the highest recorded wind speed in the U.S.
I was thinking that
Yeah.
too.
Interesting.
And it's like 216 miles per hour or
Yeah.
something like that.
You know,
Fast.
you mentioned that
Dude.
question when you were talking to us about it, and I almost looked it up. On
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mount Katahdin is 19th place at 5,267 feet.
All right. Nice.
All right.
Hey, it's 1v1. Let's keep this going, huh?
All right, question 3. This deals with geography.
Let's
Ooh,
go.
okay.
Which of these states does not have a shoreline touching one of the 5 Great Lakes?
Oh, man.
Is it Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York, or Vermont?
Oh boy.
I feel like those Northeast states all kind of blend together, and it's hard to
Dude, totally.
get a picture.
You have really done a good job of like choosing multiple choice answers where I can't eliminate any one of those definitively. I'm like, shoot. I have
Again,
no
which of these
idea.
states does not have a shoreline touching one of the 5 Great Lakes?
Can I ask, is it a technical question? Are there big rivers in between some of these lakes? Like where one lake feeds the other?
That's not a deciding factor. Arbitrary, or what are they called?
It's I don't know.
Rivers do not. In this
right.
question,
I'm just gonna go
it's
with
not
my
being
gut.
considered a shoreline if it's a river.
Okay.
I'm ready. I think I have mine. I'm pretty confident in mine.
Oh,
Are you? You're confident?
I think what Brad's trying to do is throw us off trail.
I
here.
am not
I'm not
confident.
sure.
And I think that there's a regional. I have my answer.
All right.
Let's
I'm
go.
doing it.
Yep, do it,
All
Travi.
right. Everybody turn their boards.
Yep.
I'm not done spelling it.
Ty with Pennsylvania, Travis with Pennsylvania, Patty with Minnesota. You are all wrong. It is D, Vermont.
Dang it.
Damn.
And I put a little map up.
Man.
Hey, it's still 1v1, dude. Still
Yep,
1v1.
Man, I thought that was going to be like one of the gimme questions.
Dang.
The Great
I
Lakes.
thought Pennsylvania was a great guess.
I'm
I was like,
really-
oh, fuck me, dude. I'm
I'm
dumb.
disappointed in myself.
For some reason, I've always known of Erie, Pennsylvania. And
Oh,
there's
ear,
Lake
of
Erie.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
duh. That
I
was
just-
a great show.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't choose Vermont was just because, like, Bernie Sanders is so based. I figured that, like, he had to be from a state that touched a Great Lake.
He had to have the holy water.
I guess not.
So the Great Lakes touch a total of 8 states, with them being Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York.
Nice.
That is so wild when you see the Great Lakes on a map like that. Like, they are so friggin' big, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
and here's a clue I could tip to how big they actually are. Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the world by surface area and holds 10% of all the fresh water in the world and rivers, all the world's rivers and lakes.
Wow.
10%.
Wow.
That's wild. Let's just do the apocalypse, guys. We have all the fresh water.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
great lakes.
They're great.
They're not just lakes. They should almost be seas. That's how big they are.
Like inland seas, man. Yeah.
It's 1v1 across the board. I'm waiting for this breakout moment where somebody takes the lead.
This
Runs
could
away
be the
with it.
question.
Let's do this.
We'll give a scoreboard update after question 5.
Yep.
So question 4, this is going to be a little bit of a wordy question, but I had to put guardrails
Okay.
on it to kind of
Got it.
side it in. Which of these U.S. presidents oversaw the largest growth in national parks?
Ooh.
This is factored in acreage of 94 different national parks, national military parks, national preserves, and national trails.
Okay.
So was it Jimmy Carter, Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, or Calvin Coolidge? Patty already had his answer written down before I even
I
finished.
feel
the
like you
multiple
know.
I feel like I do know.
I should have watched your hand. I could have like
Or whatever I was gonna do.
I feel like there's an answer that I think that everybody, I feel like you putting a certain answer on there would make me think that, but then I'm like reverse psychologying it.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this in one of our episodes.
Okay, I've got my answer though.
So
I don't know if I'm right, but I got my answer.
which of these U.S. presidents oversaw the largest growth in national parks?
Are we ready to flip them?
Yep. let's flip
Travi, you
them.
ready?
Yeah.
Flip.
All right.
All right, Ty has
Oh,
Jimmy Carter.
shit.
Everybody in the room has Jimmy Carter, and everybody is correct. Jimmy Carter.
See, you put Teddy on there, and I thought that's the Rubes answer
That's what
right there.
everybody thinks.
I wasn't sure, but I felt like everybody was going to choose Jimmy Carter because he's been in the recent news.
He was
R.I.P.
masterful in the growth
true.
of national parks.
Well,
He was a huge outdoorsman.
And one of our, it might have been episode 15 or 16 when Jimmy Carter passed away.
Yep.
We talked about he was being buried at his childhood home that was a national monument.
That's right.
So
Beautiful.
he kind of had a little bit of a cheat to get that record because what really stacked his numbers up was he made a lot of the national parks in Alaska official.
Oh,
So
nice.
Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve in Alaska is the nation's largest park, clocking in at over 13 million acres.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So, I mean,
So that bad boy's taking
Yeah.
up some.
That's insane,
Space.
dude.
and he also oversaw the introduction of, or he also oversaw signing in the gates of the Arctic, Noatak National Preserve, and
yeah.
Bering Land Bridge National Preserve,
Heck yeah,
and
man.
New River Gorge.
Hey.
That's amazing.
I think it might have been protected, or it may not have been like one of the official national parks, but he.
Well, actually, Jimmy Carter would have been around that same presidency because that was like an abandoned town.
Okay.
And New River Gorge isn't just the national park; it's the town associated to the national park that's also recognized.
Yeah.
So they have it's all traditional, and so that actually would be around the time when they kind of decided what to do with New River Gorge area.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it is kind of crazy. So Jimmy Carter had 40 million plus. Woodrow Wilson came in second place with 12 million plus. So
Makes sense.
40 million to 12 million in second place.
That's wild.
Wow.
FDR was in third with 7 plus. Calvin Coolidge was in fourth with 4.7.
Nice.
He didn't really do much as a president, but at least he did that.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
That record will never
mean-
be touched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy Carter,
Dude,
the best,
for real.
the best person who's ever been president.
Yes.
Maybe not the best president of all time, but the best person
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
ever
the
been
best-
president.
I agree.
I think,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
I think I said before he was building houses on his deathbed.
bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just to close the loop, Theodore Roosevelt's 13th, but we can't forget he paved the way for all these other presidents to be
Yep.
able to do it. Like all these presidents built on each other and,
Yep.
and were able to advance it. So
Teddy is maybe, and another one you could say, maybe he wasn't necessarily like the best president. Like, what qualifications are we going to give that? But like, he's in everybody's favorite list
yeah.
because he's awesome.
Yeah, he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He learned judo from like a Japanese master that he brought over. He like kind of founded the national
he had like a
parks.
fight club in the basement of the White House.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely
A
incredible.
warrior poet.
Yep.
Like a real one.
Yeah,
nice.
yes. Probably the only one we've ever had, to be honest with you.
All right. Question number 5.
Ooh.
Identify this bird call. And no, I'm not talking about the high-pitched white-throated sparrow that you can also hear in the background of this call.
Oh, are you kidding me? There's 2 calls?
Well, I mean, you can differentiate pretty easily between the two.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a northern cardinal, a cedar waxwing, a blue jay, or a rose-breasted grosbeak? Some of these are fresh off of our birding episode where we heard the audio of these bird calls. Is it a northern cardinal, a cedar waxwing, a blue jay, or a rose-breasted grosbeak? We have a few exacerbated
I know what it is.
exhales in the room.
I think I know.
It is a call we've all heard. I feel like that's a call you always hear it, but you don't maybe not know what it is.
Ready to show him?
All right, Travis is finishing up. Patty with Blue Jay, Travis with Blue Jay, Ty with Cedar Waxwing. Sorry, Ty. The answer is Blue Jay.
Dang it. I thought I heard you reference a cedar waxwing earlier, so I thought I'm going to go throw that one out there.
Yeah, in our last episode with Chad Fitzpatrick, our birding friend, his favorite bird is a cedar waxwing.
That was it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll never be able to be a good birder because I'm never confident in what I hear
That's where the Merlin app helps.
Dude, that is so distinguishable, though.
I know, but I'm still not ever 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
The blue jay and the cardinal are two bird calls that are just so loud, and you always hear them everywhere you go. And
especially around here.
yeah.
That's a pretty powerful squawk.
With that, the blue jay can be seen in northern regions year round. It doesn't migrate. Some other fun facts about blue jays: they rub ants on their feathers to drain the ants of their formic acid before they eat them.
Wow.
Scientists haven't really been able to figure out why they do it. They thought it could have been like a barrier for parasites, but they don't think it. They've like tested it and it doesn't really kill parasites. But so they may think it just may taste better without that formic acid.
Well, we do have the cedar waxwing that gets drunk on old berries that have been laying on the ground, so it would stand to reason that the blue jay have also discovered something that they enjoy eating.
Well, and another thing with the blue jays like that, they can mimic hawk sounds. Oh. And it's kind of another thing. They don't really know why they do it. They think it's probably both of these reasons. They say it's specifically a red-shouldered hawk, which I got a good picture of last week. It could be warning other blue jays in the area that there's a hawk, so they're making the hawk sound. Or it could just be like trying to like hoodwink the other birds in the area, thinking there is a jay or a hawk.
There's some sort of deception going on.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Patty, give us a score update.
All right. So, according to my calculations, what I'm seeing is that Ty is at 2. Patty, me, myself, I'm at 3.
Yep.
And Travie J is at 3 as well.
It's tight.
All right.
So it is a 2-3 ball game here.
Good.
This is way closer than I thought it would be.
Get it.
May have to pull out this tiebreaker question.
Let's go.
Question number 6. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines this 5-letter word as an accumulation of loose stones or rocky debris lying on a slope or at the base of a hill or cliff. I feel like it's a word we've all heard of like many times.
Will you read that one more time?
Yep. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines this 5-letter word as an accumulation of loose stones or rocky debris lying on a slope or at a base of a hill or cliff.
I feel like this is an advanced question, Brad.
I'm also not sure
But it's
how
also-
to spell it.
It's also a very unique kind of thing that I've heard this word many times.
I hope that I'm right now. If I'm right, I'm going to brag about this.
Spelling
for like a
is
week.
not I won't deduct points for spelling.
Thank you, because if I'm right, I'm unsure how to spell this.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
On your boards? Ty
smacking our
with,
mics.
I can't read that, Ty.
Cairn? I put Cairn.
Cairn?
Yeah, that's the only thing I thought of.
You might be close to one of the scientific names.
Oh,
We'll look into
really?
That. Travis with scree, Patty with shale. The answer is scree.
Nice.
Dang.
Scree is
I've
formed.
never even heard of that.
Yeah, really? You've never heard the word scree?
No.
You know,
I don't think I have either.
Can you picture it? Or I have a picture of it. It's just like when there's just a rocky, super, super rocky terrain, not like tiny little pebbles or like rocks you'd pick up.
Yep.
Yeah.
The formation of scree is results of physical and chemical weathering acting on a rock face.
Oh, that's
It's just like
interesting.
it's erosion, like eventually almost like an avalanche. A rock face usually just gives away after years of erosion.
Nice.
And
So
it's
all
almost
those like all those little rocks at the base of that are from like it cleaving off, the
Yeah.
erosion cleaving off. That is really
like
interesting.
that was
what-
eventually on a cliffside.
Falls off a mountain or a cliff
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
over time. But is that, because that's scree, is that a certain size of rock that's kind of scattered? Because there's definitely like massive rocks that fall down and scatter all over.
I think
too.
it's one of those things when you see it, you know it. Like when we were going through the on the Teton Crest Trail, it's called like the Goats Trail or Goats Path.
Yeah.
That was scree.
That's what I was thinking about the
Yeah.
whole time.
Where I lost my cup.
I would have called it shale.
Yeah, I don't know what shale actually is.
I don't either.
Shale, I think isn't it a type of rock?
Because
Well,
for some reason I would like if you would be like, look at that shale, I'd think, oh yeah, that is shale.
Yeah.
I think it's like rock that isn't so compact. I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but it's like easier
Like
to
flaky.
get through.
Yes, flaky. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
arrowhead stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a advanced course in
Yeah.
geology.
You didn't
right
learn that
there.
in your trip to the
Not scree,
look up.
no.
Question number 7. Which national park had the most visitors in 2023? Was it Grand Canyon National Park,
2023.
Yellowstone, Yosemite, or the Great Smoky Mountains?
I'm gonna guess this.
Everybody seems confident except for Ty.
Well, it's like
I feel confident.
I know what I'm
this.
gonna put, but I don't necessarily know it's right. I'm putting more of my favorite than anything else.
Which national park had the most visitors in
I
2023?
think we're already ready to show.
Yep.
Let's rock it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Ty with Grand Canyon, Travis with Smokies, Patty with Smokies.
Smokies.
Just for the viewer or listeners at home, the boards are getting a little filled with doodles and drawings. So
Heavy racers.
So it takes me a second to find the answer.
Except mine, because I can't draw for anything.
All right,
I just can't erase anything.
Travis and Patty are correct.
Yeah.
Well
answer
done,
is
guys.
D,
Well done.
Great
Well done.
Smoky Mountains National Park.
Damn. Trevor has 5 right now, dude.
Patrick.
Coming in,
Oh, 1.
Great Smoky National Park came in at 13 million, or just over 13 million visitors in 2023. Second place was Grand Canyon. Ty,
It's my
you were
favorite.
right there.
Yep.
So I voted
At
for it.
4.7, Zion in third with 5 million. It seems like once it gets down to these, they're kind of pretty similar.
Yeah.
Zion, Yellowstone, Rocky Mountain National Park are all like in the 4 million range.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, Great Smoky Mountain.
All right.
That's
Most
cool.
visited.
Did we talk about that on an earlier podcast where we
We talked about
Yeah.
it being.
it's easily accessible, so
Yeah.
more people go
Oh,
into it.
that makes sense.
Some of
makes
these
sense.
questions are like, if you were paying attention in previous episodes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Had the
nice.
answers.
All right.
Real quick, more than 300 million people, like the population of the U.S.
Wow.
380
Well, yeah,
million.
380, I think now. Yeah.
So more than 300 million people visited national parks in 2023. An estimated 6 billion people have visited national parks since the NPS started recording.
Wow.
In like 19
billion.
19 teens.
That is wild.
How does that
Yeah.
compare to Disney World?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
That
question.
is a good question.
That's a good question.
2023 was a record year for Smoky Mountains and most national parks. But usually in non-record years, it's still like 11, 12 million people. Wow. So still,
You know, that's amazing. That's got to make you wonder, like, like what's the reason behind that? Are we searching out nature more? Are we looking for things that like don't necessarily cost a ton of money? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be like I'd be interested to read a paper about that. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, because they're all
There's all
like,
sorts of
it's really
reasons.
like since like 2018, really everything's been like all national park visitations have been increasing pretty steadily.
That's
I think
cool.
there's just a theory that COVID, kind
Right.
of isolated us for so long. We just wanted to get outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all getting sick of listening to the news and 'cause
Amen, buddy.
so get outside. None of that.
Yeah.
You go out in nature, none of those troubles exist.
Don't
Yeah.
have to worry about anybody coughing on you. It's great.
All right, question number 8. Which of these popular through hikes will have you sauntering the most number of miles? Is it the Continental Divide Trail, the Appalachian
boy.
Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, or the Florida Trail?
The way you looked at Florida
Well,
Trail has me
Because
suspicious.
I switched kind of switched things up. It's different on my notes versus the screen.
okay.
Which of these popular through hikes will have you sauntering the most number of
Oh my
miles?
god.
Continental Divide Trail, Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail,
This is so hard.
Can't
the
be
Florida
that.
Trail.
I
Can't
don't.
be that.
I have 3 that I want to put down. Can I put 3
Right.
down?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, as long as one's your answer. You can write something, cross it out. So we were like, at least he was thinking about the right answer.
Yeah. He was
Right.
on the trail.
Yeah. I think if you break it down, it makes sense. Like if you think about where each one starts and finishes.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, everybody is vigorously writing their answers,
Yep.
and they're ready to go.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Turn your boards. Ty with the CDT, Travis with the CDT, Travis with Pacific Crest Trail.
Patrick.
Sorry, Patty with Pacific Crest Trail. And Patty is the only one that's wrong.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
The Continental Divide Trail is 1/3 of the U.S. Triple Crown, which includes the Appalachian and Pacific Crest Trail. The CDT will have you trekking up to 3,100 miles.
Wow.
It takes you from Crazy Cook Monument in New Mexico all the way to the northern border at Glacier National Park. Second place is Pacific Crest Trail at 2,600 miles. And third place is the Appalachian Trail at 2,100 miles-ish. All right, we're on to question number 9. What does the National Park Service recommend you do if you encounter a black bear? Do you slowly move toward it? Do you turn around and run away? Do you get big, wave arms, and yell? Or do you curl into the fetal position on the ground? It's a tough decision.
Can you put the options?
I was
on
gonna
the
say,
screen, please?
can you say that one more time?
What does the National Park Service recommend you do if you encounter a black bear?
Shoot.
Do you move slowly towards it? Do you turn around and run away? Do you get big, wave arms, and yell? Or do you curl into the fetal position on the ground?
See, I feel like it's the opposite of there's what you do with grizzlies and what you do with black bears, and I don't exactly remember which one is which.
Seems like Patty is the most confident in the
I feel like I'm going to pull up a point here, dude.
Oh, man. We'll give a scoreboard update after this question.
Okay.
Everybody ready? Travis, do you have an answer?
Yep.
All right, everybody turn their boards. Ty with Get Big. Travis with Get Big.
Damn it.
Patty with Get Big. The answer is Get Big.
Hell yeah.
So wrong.
Right on.
Some general tips when encountering a bear. Identify yourself by talking calmly so the bear knows you are a human and not a prey animal. Remain still, stand your ground, but slowly wave your arms.
I am a human.
One funny thing that I saw, one of the tips was, well, A, stay calm, like,
Right.
if you can.
Don't run.
One funny thing was pick up small children immediately. Which makes sense.
I mean,
It does. It does.
I think that would happen naturally for most bears.
I mean,
So-
alternatively, you could just run faster than them. I don't know.
So for all you parents out there, pick up your kids immediately. All right, question number 10. Let's do a scoreboard update. This is the final question.
All right. So, according to my math, Ty has 4,
I feel comfortable.
Patty has 5,
Yep.
and Travi J has 7.
Oh, so Travis
I
wins.
can't lose.
Big lead. Big lead.
Let's do the last question anyway.
Dang, yeah. This
What
is
do we get? 2 bonus points? You
For-
get 2 points for this last
for
one.
me. This last question is the most important. So
3 points.
it's the most important for me because on episode 20, titled "We Are the Hydra Homies," I gave out the inaugural News Panther Hell Yeah Award to some brilliant young scientists. What was the small mammal that they were the first ever to photograph alive? And I'm going to be generous.
Dude.
If you get one word of its 3-word name, I'll
What?
give you the point.
Like the street name?
No,
Or
like the name of this animal has 3 words in it.
Out of curiosity, if I get all the names right, do I get a point for each one of those?
You get 3 points if you get the entire 3 words correct.
Ooh.
What?
Poppy Bear paid
Oh
attention.
man, we have
Poppy
Oh,
Bear paid
man.
attention, dude.
we have a showdown going on.
Do we get extra time?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
You got to give me a chance.
well, it's not
For all
gonna.
you listeners out there, Patty, me, myself already has my answer written down.
Yeah, Patty immediately wrote the answer down.
All 12
Travis
words.
is in deep contemplation, trying to think will the answer into his head.
I'm just reversing time, trying going through all of it.
pulling that AI in your head back. It was one of those where it's like you either remember it or you don't. It's a tough one. But they did get the first ever Hell Yeah award, so
All right.
kind of important.
Damn it.
Well, put something down, y'all. Put something down, y'all.
All right, everybody is finishing up, and turn your boards. Ty with something shrew.
Oh, that's one.
Patty with Mount.
No, you have to be done writing.
I'm done.
Travis, turn your board.
All right.
Some kind of ground squirrel. Close. I'll give you half a point.
What is a shrew but a
it's
ground
really-
squirrel
it's
at the end of the day?
Patty with Mount Lyle Shrew. And the full 3 points goes to Patty.
Oh, the come from behind
Don't
victory.
call it a comeback.
Wow.
Boom,
I
boom,
remember now.
So,
But yeah.
so Patty is the victor.
Yes, I am
Yep.
the victor.
Yep.
But we'll still do the tiebreaker just
Yeah,
for fun.
let's do it
Just
for
for
fun.
fun.
Now you
Just
know
for funsies.
that I don't pay attention and Ty doesn't listen to the podcast.
But Ty got Shrew, at least.
It was a
I knew
lot.
it was a Shrew.
Oh,
I knew
you
it
did
was
better than
something.
me.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
No, I still only got 5. You got 7.
Mount Lyle Shrew.
Yeah.
It's a little cutie, by the way. It's kind of it almost looks like a Sonic the Hedgehog character, to be honest with you.
Hey, I'd like to say congratulations to you guys for just making it on this game show, but I'm not going to because I'm the victor and none of you matter.
Oh, man.
Sore winner.
Yeah,
Son of a
sore
gun.
That really pisses me off.
Travis,
I was- I was riding
Yeah.
real high for
Wow.
that whole game.
But we could do this bonus question.
Yeah.
That's a way to make you feel better.
Oh, okay.
Travis can get his redemption the next time we play trivia.
Yeah, there you
Hell
go.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bonus question.
Ooh.
All right.
What is the altitude of the highest mountain in the United States of America? Closest to the altitude wins.
The mainland or every?
All of the United States.
What is the altitude?
It's a tough one. That's why, I figured this is the tiebreaker because whoever's closest, nobody knows exactly what it is, but whoever's closest.
I bet there's someone.
It's a tough question. I feel like I would have probably got it right, though.
Oh my god! I can't believe you just said that.
I'm just joking.
I'm just riding on cloud right now.
Yeah, Patty's like, I don't even give
Yeah.
a shit about this.
Cruising
fight.
that
why
victor
are we even
side.
here?
Much. I don't know why I care so much.
Bonus. What's the bonus worth?
Well, nothing because you already won.
Oh. Yeah, but I want to win by more.
This was only a question if it was a tie.
Okay. Oh, that's right. So we're not even.
It's a tiebreaker, not a bonus.
We're not allowed any pride for getting this one right.
So should we show them?
Yeah. Show your answers. Ty with 42,069.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Travis with 14,380. Patty, oh man, you guys, Patty with 14,500.
What?
Patty and Travis are within 120 feet of each other. That's crazy.
Nice.
Well, Patty wins that too because it's
Hey.
20,310 feet.
All
And
right.
that is
Oh, nice.
Mount
nice.
McKinley is the
Ah,
highest mountain in the United
course.
States at
son
20,000.
of a bitch.
20,000.
feet.
I wouldn't have guessed 20,000 either.
You beat me by 250 feet.
Yeah.
But just imagine if there was a mountain twice as high that was 420, 69 feet. That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be massive.
Hey, man, that was fun.
So
That was really fun.
Travis's question was adequate because Mount McKinley is in Alaska, and his first ascent was in 1913. So
Wow.
Wow.
That's wild.
that's kind of. It is kind of weird to think people were exploring Alaska in 1913.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's not weird at all. No
Dude,
way.
you ever heard of the age of exploration?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were
dude.
just, what's that? I'm gonna go to
But
it.
they were
what's
climb-
that? I'm
but
gonna
they
go
were,
up it.
But they were already climbing the highest mountain in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. They were
pretty
already
wild.
exploring the Arctic.
Dude, there were probably
You know?
Yeah, they were.
ancient people dying on Mount Everest all
Yeah,
the time.
damn right.
That's a
So, yeah.
good point.
So that was
Yeah.
fun. So Patty gets to decide
Yeah.
which group we're going to donate $25 to. Patty, do you have anything on the top of your head?
Yeah, I do. I have thought about this for quite some time because I had a feeling I was going to win because I'm a strong competitor. I'm a strong competitor, nimble on my feet and sharp in my brain. And I would like to donate my $25 to a local project around here that keeps up a wetlands that I absolutely enjoy. My son and I have been hiking there for years.
We've been hiking there.
We've recently started going to Eagle Marsh to Bird in Fort Wayne, and it is the Little River Wetlands Project. So
Beautiful.
Great.
big spot in my
Yeah.
heart, and
Oh, yeah.
I hope that they can use the small donation for something awesome.
Well, I mean, you don't have to say it's a small donation. It's a donation.
It's fine.
Donation's a
I
donation.
appreciate that you kept it local.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Word.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because that's I would have probably did the same, but like acres or something.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very
awesome. Well, thank you all for playing trivia this week. It was a lot of fun. I hope the questions were tough but fair.
It was real cool.
They were
Yeah.
great.
You crushed it, dude. You did a great job.
Hell yeah,
I feel
man.
like we crushed that News Panther, and then you crushed the trivia.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I'm feeling it.
Just
Yeah.
a lot of badassery going on around
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and Ty, thanks for being our
Yeah,
guest,
Ty,
thanks
man.
for joining
tonight.
Hey man, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Super happy to have you. I hope we can get you back on for another trivia
Yeah.
or game night.
Oh, I'll be back.
Your
Nice.
week will come.
Don't worry, listeners. I'll be back.
Nice, man. Very sensual, dude. Really talking to the listener.
Trying to draw them in, you know?
Yeah, thanks,
keep
dude.
them coming back for more.
Thank you. Thank
No, thank you guys. You guys are the best. You're like literally my favorite people. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Speaking
All
of
right.
coming back for more, Patty, what are we going to talk about next week?
Oh, dude. Next week is going to be fantastic. It is a gear episode, and we're going to talk about everything clothing on the trail below your waist, from your feet, your socks, your pants, everything.
Underwear.
Yeah, underwear.
Very
Please
important.
tune in, dude. It's going to be awesome. Tons of information for everybody out there.
You're going to want to pay attention.
Yep.
Yeah. The utmost importance of comfort on the trail next
Yeah.
week.
All righty. You guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Congrats
All
to
right.
Patty. Congrats to the, what was the name of the conservation group?
Little River Wetlands Project.
Congrats to the Little River Wetlands Project.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for coming, Ty. And I think we're out of here. Keep
Yep.
on sauntering.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.